Oh, I got a request to make some sliced red onions for the doll's hamburgers. So stay tuned and see how fun and easy these are to make. Alright, so we've got kind of a mess here. Somebody requested that I do red onion slices for our burgers. So I've done some prep work here. This is my white portion. It needs to be pretty translucent, so I'm using Fimo translucent white, equal part of that to a white. And I'm using Fimo white today because that's what I had. And then we need a reddish purple color. And the one I had that was the best, I've got this onion here. This is Violet from Sculpey. It's a little on the light side, but it was the closest I had. And so I've rolled this out. First I made a log, and then the white. And I rolled some white out to the thickest setting on my pasta machine. Then I took some of this violet color, and I rolled it out to the thinnest setting, or the next to the thinnest setting on my pasta machine. And we are going to cut the end of this, and I'm sorry if you can hear my son. He's on Skype with one of his buddies and they are playing some Steam game, I don't know what, but being teenage boys, they're loud. So if you have teenage boys in your life, you know how loud they can be. I've closed my office door, but he's only the next room over. Alright, so I'm putting that around there. I'm going to slice off the extra, and a lot of this is just going to go in my scrap clay because I'm not going to be able to salvage it. Alright, I want that nice and even now. Oops, I can hear air, and there's an air bubble. There's air bubbles right here, so I want to get the air out. Poke some holes there. Now, this piece, you can either use a rolling pin or do like I'm going to, and run it through the pasta machine just the way it is. We're not going to fold it. Do on the thickest setting first, and that made it stick together. And this is because my pasta machine, I tried to run the white through the pasta machine before it was conditioned enough, and it got over on the edge and it makes bad marks. Second setting, I'm going to go through down to about the 4th or 5th. I'll see how it looks. Oops. And we're going to cheat on this cane. We are not going to do it completely right because I don't want to have to do all the cutting. So I'm going to show you a cheating method. I'm going to put my onion, my real onion, off to the side. I don't need that right now. Alright. I've probably got enough clay here to make enough onions for, I don't know what. Oops, it's kind of crooked, but we'll do that much to start with. Now, a real onion, it wouldn't spiral. It'd be separate, they're separate rings. But we could do that, but that would take a lot longer. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to spiral it. It'll look okay. And then I'm going to show you a trick to do with some of that. Alright, now, let's see how big this is. Where is my circle gauge? Since our real onion was approximately an inch or 3 inches in diameter, I want this one down to about an inch. Probably a little less. That's at an inch. It's a little thicker than I want to go. a little more. And I can feel I'm off. Made my core a little large, but yeah, it's okay. I'm going to go smaller and add more to it. Since I made that a little too big in the center to look right. Ah, that's why that hurt. We will add more and then roll down. That will look better. Now we are going to attempt to cut this once it's baked today. That's probably about as far as I want to go down. I've shown you how to cut after freezing. Today we are going to actually bake this partially and then cut. But we'll have to cut while it's really, really hot. Okay. Now, I'm going to pop this out. I was going to do some strips. Let's see, there's one. Do I have a dowel? I need to find a dowel before I can show you the next trick. Alright, so I've dug out these pieces of dowel that we used when we made the mugs, and also just a piece of dowel. We're going to try to make just some pieces that will be cut like kind of, you know, little bits. So cut some skinny strips of your clay that's left over. It's warm in here, and with my lights it's making my clay really soft. And we're going to kind of just spiral it around. Don't worry that it's too big, because we're going to actually cut it down. Take these scraps. Make sure you've got both colors. Let's see if I can get... Ah! Yeah, my son's very loud. Let's kind of wrap it around. I'm going to try wrapping some around this one too. Hopefully it will come off. So we're just going to spiral around. Because we're going to make some little bits of red onion too. So I am going to take all of this, and I'm going to, oops, where's my plate? And I'm going to bake this for probably about 5 minutes on this baking. When this has been baked for about 5 minutes, I'll be back and we'll do the next step. Alright, so this is fresh out of the oven. It has baked only for about 5 minutes. It's still kind of soft. It's very warm. But by partially baking it, it's not baked enough. Okay, should have baked it for a little longer. Sometimes this works. It's a little more stable. You would not want the kids to do this though, because it's warm. So on the smaller scales, I actually bake all the way through and then cut them sometimes, but I was afraid on this scale that I wouldn't be able to get all the way through with my knife. But these look pretty good. That's a better thickness, but it's getting out of shape. Yeah, I think we should have just stuck with freezing it. It would have worked better. Alright, so don't partially bake it. It doesn't work in this scale. Just go ahead and freeze it. But I want to finish cutting this while it's still warm. I'll finish that off camera. Now let's get these guys. These we can just, you know how there's always those little bits of onion that peel off from the big piece? You could even cut these up and put them in your salad. Remember that salad we made a few months ago? Wouldn't that look really nice to have some of these little bits in it? Cut those up. Yeah, that came off. Good. More of these would also go really well on a pizza. We should do a pizza sometime. That's what we should do. When we get done with the burgers, maybe that'll be a future project. So those I'm going to put off the side. They're going to go in a separate container and be just some chunks of red onion. They can be chopped up further later on. I'm going to finish chopping this, or slicing these. Then I'm going to finish baking this, again at about 235, since it's got Fimo in it, for probably another 10 minutes, just to make sure we get everything baked off. When it's baked and cooled, I'll come back and we'll look at these. Alright, these are out of the oven now. I will probably chop this up a little finer and then put it away to use on things like on pizza or in a salad or something like that. It's handy to have these little odds and ends for that. So here's our slices of red onion for the dolls to put on their burgers. Yeah, I think the only thing I would say is don't try to pre-bake, partially bake, and then slice on this scale. It doesn't work on this scale. So just put them in the freezer like I've shown you before and slice them from there. So I hope you enjoyed this. Remember, if you make any of my projects, be sure and send me a picture. I'd love to see what you're making. If you have any suggestions for things you want to see made on this channel, be sure and let me know. And if you haven't found my Facebook page, be sure and find that. The link is always in the description box below the video. I usually give you a teaser picture sometime during the week of what we're making, and if there's not going to be a video, I let you know on there too. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.